Damn. Well, I thought it was kind of appropriate that I put on this coat for the last installment of 42nd Street Pete's Halloween extravaganza, because it was over close to, I don't know, 30 years or more ago, I debuted 42nd Street Pete at a Halloween chiller show. I can't even remember when. It's not the original hat, because that's long since bit the dust, and the Something Weird t-shirt is rotted off me. And I can't seem to find my shades, but being I'm wearing prescription glasses, that's all I got left. So it's kind of, I just felt it was, appropriate, because actually, I debuted myself on Halloween. And this is the last episode of 42nd Street Pete's Halloween extravaganza. And I'll end it with my go-to film every Halloween, The Undead, Roger Corman's The Undead. And, 50s style, I believe that Roger was trying to cash in on the reincarnation craze with that Bridley Murphy thing or something that was going on back then. But anyway, it basically starts out with a prostitute, Diana, played by Pamela Duncan, who is regressed back into medieval times where she was a Princess Helene who was going to be executed at dawn as a witch. But Diane gets into her head and the hooker mentality kicks in, and Helene escapes. And that basically alters destinies, because her paramour, Pendragon, played by Richard Garland, is confused as to how she got out. And he is being seduced by this witch, Lydia, played by the always hot Allison Hayes, and her sidekick, this imp, played by Billy Barty. And you have, Mel Wells as Shamokin, the enchanted gravedigger. And let's see, who else do you have in there? Dick Miller is a guy who sells himself to the devil, and the devil is played by a very demonic-looking Richard Devon. So the film follows her, escaping, being put in a coffin and being put in the graveyard as she escapes, and then Shamokin opens her up, but doesn't realize that this is supposedly the witch that bewitched him, which it isn't. So she is taken back to Shrump's Tavern, who Shrump is Bruno B. Soda. And she's hidden there for a while, and there's another old witch out in the boondocks. I can't remember who plays her. But there's a whole bunch. It's just so well played out. I mean, I know it was shot in the interior of a supermarket that was tricked out as a soundstage. But you have the swirling mists, you have the graveyards, you have all this stuff, and then it's like one of the scientists has to basically go back and stop the clock, so to speak. So either Helene will live or Diana will die. So he goes back and he challenges the devil, and there's this going back and forth. And Lydia tries again to seduce Pendragon, but winds up stabbing her because he realizes that she's behind a lot of this shit, and she dies and turns into a cat. Well, she's dead. The imp is splashed with holy water by the other crone and also dies. Helene goes back to, I'm trying to think, the scientist lets all the voices be heard in her head of all the lives that would happen if she were to be executed as a witch. And the last one is Diana. I realize the folly of my life. Please give me another chance. So she goes back to be executed. So back at the where the experiment was taking place, she comes to and realizes what was going on, and the other scientist is there, and he goes, I can't hate this guy either. All I can do is look on in horror, and there's his empty suit of clothes sitting in the chair. So we go back, and he's talking to the devil, and he goes, well, I must begin my long journey home. And the devil goes to him, he goes, well, the only link for you to get back was Helene, and that link is broken. So he goes, and now you'll spend the rest of your days here toiling at some menial job, and then at the end of time I will come a calling. And then it bursts into flames, and the end comes up, and Richard Devon is laughing maniacally. And like I said, I must have caught this thing, 1:30 in the morning in one of my, I don't know, it might have been, probably was a Halloween night, and that's why it stuck with me. And all I know is for the last, I don't know how many years, 30, 40 years, when I got, you know, with the advent of VHS, of course, I got it. Then I was able to see it whenever I wanted. I also had it on 8mm. And, you know, had it back then. But it's just one of those films. It just stuck with me. And, you know, like I said, it's almost like my tradition because, let's face it, Halloween night, I'll be here by myself. And I know I promised people an answer as whether I'm going to stay or whether I'm going to go. And I think it'll be appropriate if I return at midnight and give you that answer when, I don't know, some people say that, you know, basically the veil between the living and the dead is open at midnight. So I sort of like to sit out there and, you know, talk about things that have gone on past and friends that are no longer with us. So until tonight, my friends, I will give you my answer. So until then, stay safe, happy Halloween, and we'll catch you later on.